Buongiorno, buon pomeriggio, e buonasera, Lazio world. Welcome to your instant reaction pod. I'm your host, Sean McIntosh, joined not by my good friend Caleb Adams, running this one solo. Uh, Here to cover Sassuolo Lazio in a match that saw a little bit of life in attack from our Lazio. So I'll keep this one a bit shorter than usual, um, but uh, but there is a bit to talk about, and it's our first victory in Serie A in God knows how long. Seems like it's been quite some time. I mean, we're talking. I mean, a run of one, two, three, four. I think our first victory in now almost 6 matches that we find ourselves with the full 3 points. So this one, we'll start where we typically do is our starting 11, and no real surprises here. The notable change with the injury to Provedel is seeing Eduardo Motta in goal. But aside from that, your typical group, Tavares getting the start here, which seems to be no surprise at all. But I mean, this was a match that couldn't have started any better, right? 2 minutes in, Isaacson doing all of the work to take his man head on, driving the goal into the box, and Maldini in a fortunate position taps this one in for his first Serie A goal for Lazio. Isaacson again, 12 minutes in, just again direct individual work, goes a bit wide. Dele Bashido with a chance in the 17th minute, and it is really all Lazio on the front foot. And then the 35th minute, Sassuolo finding the equalizer, Lariente with a forceful strike, unfortunately negating all of the good work that Lazio did. 38th minute, again, the injury bug is just continues to cripple this Lazio side. Cataldi off for Patrick. Patrick being forced to play in that midfield with the absence of Basic, Rovella, and now Cataldi, something to keep an eye on. And then 59th minute, we're into the second half. Ball drops to Kenneth Taylor in the box. He takes a bit too long to make his decision. Does not escape with a clean shot. 62nd minute, Dele Bashiru, crack goes over. We see Dia coming on for Maldini. And then in the 78th minute, real missed opportunity. Isaacson, who has done so well to create in this match, has a chance after just a beautiful through ball by Gila. Goes to chip the keeper, and it goes over the crossbar. Missed opportunity that I was worried would see us brew the chance. And it's a big save by Motta in the 80th minute, and then a couple opportunities to close this one out. Cancellieri attempts really testing the keeper in the 82nd minute with a curling effort. In the 87th minute, Pedro with a fantastic free kick goes far post. Profsgaard, perfect position. You would think, again, one of his skills is heading the ball, just goes over the bar. It was a towering header. And then in the 92nd minute, that man, Adam Marusic, perfect position, fantastic header after a really nice ball in the box by Cancellieri, sees Lazio secure all 3 points, which had been just much too long in Serie A, that we find ourselves on the right end of a result. And my 3 words or less to describe this one: attacking life. This team had been crippled with injuries since the protests, after the unfortunate market, which just seems to suck all the life out of this team. We had been starving for any sort of attacking play. And today we finally saw attacking life. Mind the 2 goals, which, is huge in and of itself, but real attacking life. Possession in this one, 50% to both sides, but Lazio with an expected goal, an XG of 2.59, 13 shots, 5 of those on frame, 4 big chances, something we have just been missing from this side. And You just got to be happy with that real sense of directness. There was an intent behind possession. You saw a lot of nice combination play. You saw Gila with his, what we've kind of been lacking from Gila is certainly he's been a little bit more chaotic on the defensive end, but those towering runs from him. He had a run earlier in the match that unfortunately Dia didn't play the ball back to him and really reward his center back. But the pass that he made to feed Isaacson was incredible. And just so much more time spent in the opposing area and in and around the box that you just have to be very happy with what we saw. And you just wonder why we don't see that enough. And you just hope that we see it moving forward, particularly when we have our eyes to Coppa Italia. But this was a match in which we were really going to test this Lazio side. Sassuolo with a great run of form in Serie A. All the kudos and recognition from Fabio Grosso's side. Look, they were unbeaten in 3, including important wins against Atalanta, and were and still are ahead of us in the table, but a side that seemed to be doing everything right. And so I think such an important 3 points for Lazio as they kind of compare themselves right now with this class. Unfortunately, that is mid-table. So fantastic results. And just as important when I think about the result was how we went about it. A deserved 3 points. My man of the match in this one, tough, really tough to gauge or hand out one man of the match winner, but for me, I'm going to go Marusic, the obvious. I mean, the goal was tremendous, but his work today, very solid defensively. He did so well to just maintain some defensive solidity. I also want to give that shout out to Gila, who, again, kind of up and down a lot this season, but we saw a lot more of the old Gila, both for his crunching tackles, the pace, the strength that you see, and then some of his darting runs that is much more involved in the attacking side of things today as that center back. So I really thought those two played very, very good matches. Tavares, again, so much in the way he changes this attack. And, it's funny when I was thinking about Bidone, would have been way too harsh to give it to him because I thought he played a pretty good match. But Isaacson at times could be your man of the match, and then on the other hand could be your Bidone. But overall, I thought Isaacson was strong. I want to give him a shout as a man of the match contender. Because of his work that led to the goal early on, some of the chances that he created. But what a frustrating player he can be because on that other side of things is the missed chance, right? And if we would have went on and either dropped points, draw, or loss, you really would have been thinking about that Isaacson missed chance, which is kind of the story about him as a player. If he can ever get that piece of his game right, you really have something special on your hands. But yeah, look, this is one ahead of a Milan match that comes next week on Sunday, ahead of our eyes towards, which is not for another, I think, 5 weeks or so when we play Atalanta in the second leg of Coppa Italia. These are the types of matches that instill confidence, and I think if I'm going back and dubbing a Bidone, because I don't think it was an easy one to hand out. Perhaps Zaccagni, another poorer match from him. I think he was a little bit better today than maybe what we saw in the past couple matches, and I'm hoping it's a fitness issue as he rounds into form a bit, both for Lazio and then hopefully for the national team, who has their own important match against Northern Ireland. But I'd have to give it to Zaccagni and Jan Twee here on YouTube comments. Zaccagni has to improve. Absolutely. Again, how important he is to this side. And look, today, some of the defensive work was there and some of those things that you commend him for, but in attack, you just got to be a little bit better. And the expectation with him is much higher. And so I think I start to get concerned maybe after this week, given him those 3 matches to round into form. and hope that we see the Zaccagni of old. Though last year we didn't get to really see him when he returned from injury, he was never quite the same player. So if we're going to do anything in Coppa Italia against Atalanta, we're really going to need a healthy, a fit, a sharp Zaccagni. But aside from that, I mean, I can't really be too upset with the performances of anybody. I thought it was a strong match. Even Eduardo Mota, he came up big in that 80th minute where it's back-to-back saves. Maybe could have done a little bit better on the first shot that he parries into a dangerous area, but makes up for it with a second big save there, which ultimately reserved and allowed us to find a winner and take home all 3 points. So, this going to keep this episode short, but very, very happy with what we saw run of play and individually from players. And if we can just see this a little bit more, real concern now with the Cataldi injury. We'll look to see some news on how bad that actually was. Looked to be a knee. They were bringing out the ice packs when they subbed them out. So fingers crossed, because that puts us in a real dangerous place without having him, who has been our most important midfielder, our most consistent, our most reliable, our healthiest, and the midfielder who's really created some dangerous moments. So a lot will fall on Kenneth Taylor if Cataldi is out, and who takes his place. You got to hope that you maybe get Basic in return, but if not, not sure that Patri can sustain the role of a starting midfielder, though he did look decent in an emergency role today, must be said. So 3 points. It's been a long time coming. Again, I'll keep this one short.